Well, there it is. There's my finished fuel tank, finally. It was quite the long project. Of course, I didn't work on it for quite a few months. After I'd done my fabricating of the actual tank, I had it sent off to be welded, and that took some time. And of course, during that time frame, I worked on other things, but I finally got it back today, and I'm pleased with it. It looks pretty good. The guy who did the welding, I think, did a good job. By his own admission, he thought that it could have been better, but because I wasn't too incredibly knowledgeable when I fabricated the tank, I made it so that all of the joints were butt joints as opposed to, not butt joints, but corner joints as opposed to lap type joints. And so it could have been welded a little bit differently had I put different joints on it, but I'm happy with it. It's been pressure tested to about 3 psi, no leaks. So it's pretty much ready to be installed. I've fit tested it into the plane, and it fits a little bit more snug than I would like, but it does fit. I had to do a little bit of filing and sanding on the wood on the fuselage to get it to slip in a little bit easier, but I think I'm done with all that now, and I think it fits good enough. So that's that. This is just, the filler neck is just screwed on temporarily. I'm going to weigh it here in a minute because I'm curious to see how much it weighs. So I put this filler neck on, and I also screwed on the finger strainer just because I wanted to see what this thing would weigh with a couple accessories attached to it. So I'm going to weigh it just like you see it here. But so there it is. I'm glad it's back. I'm glad it's done, because this was one of the projects that was a little bit, not a burden, but it was bothering me some because I wasn't really sure how to do it and where I was going to get it welded and all that good stuff. So all right. So again, I'm gonna fill it with some water, a gallon at a time, and see exactly how many gallons I can get in it. I'm guessing it's at least 15, but when I get the exact number, I will make that known. And this is made out of 32 thousandths thick 5052 or 5253, what is that, aluminum? I think it's 5052 aluminum. All right, on to other things. My fuel tank is now in, I believe, permanently, although I haven't connected the fuel line yet, but I wanted to do some videotaping while I'm thinking about it, so here it is. It's an aluminum tank. I fabricated it myself, but I did not do the welding. I had it welded by someone that's good with welding thin aluminum. It is 35 thousandths of an inch thick. It's got baffles, internal baffles inside. I'm guessing it's going to be between like 15 and 17 gallons. This is plastic banding. I'll have a photograph of this showing the details, but this has got ribs on it, and this clip here engages with those ribs and holds it in place. Now right now I don't have this super tight. The only way this tank is going to physically come out of the airplane is if you're doing some really serious negative G's. But for what it's worth, these are in, and again, they're not super tight yet. I'm just going to let them kind of take shape, so to speak, and then I'll tighten it up a little bit more. Inside of here, well, you can see these holes. These are going to be for the cowling that comes over top of this, and I've got these 90-degree nut plates. Let's see if I can get a better shot of one of those. I'll have pictures of this too, but I've got these nut plates that go around underneath this cowling, and it clears the tank. The tank does not interfere with those. I've got the cap modified for the fuel gauge, which is something that I'll probably work on next. I actually have the fuel gauge ready. It's just a metal rod, piece of stainless rod and a cork, but I'll probably fit that in here and get it cut to length. And come around in the inside here. These are my tank anchors, I guess if you want to call them. It's just a piece of, I think they're ash. I don't know that I use spruce. But they're epoxy to the verticals, and they're also epoxy to the plywood, and I've got a recess cut out in the back for the strap to go around. And the strap goes up around the tank through this, around the sides. Here's the other one. And you can see I haven't got my fuel line or my valve connected yet, but that will be coming up here very soon. So there it is. Oh, another thing too. I don't know if you can see how well you can see this white piece here. I'll have a picture of this because this is not going to zoom into that and keep it in focus. But it's a piece of Teflon that's taped to the fuel tank, and it protects those screws that poke through there. It protects the tank from being chafed on the ends of the screws for the engine mount. And those are wedged in there pretty good. I've got them taped. Of course, tape doesn't stick all that great to the Teflon, but it does stick some, and they're wedged in there enough. I don't think they're going to go anywhere between the tank and the end of the bolt. So there it is. It's finally in, and I believe this time it's going to stay. And I'll get to connecting the fuel valve and the fuel line and work on my fuel gauge.